Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a little book unhaul. These are books that I have been kind of planning to get rid of for a while, and I wanted to film this before I just get rid of them. I plan on, I think, taking them to a book reselling store where I get like credit, you know, to buy books within that store. I might give some to like my sister-in-law or my cousin, and I might put some in those little free libraries as well. We have two in my neighborhood, and so I might put some there as well. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. This isn't going to be a super long unhaul. I know some people do like massive unhauls. This is just some books that I just picked off my shelf recently and plan to just kind of like not toss, but you know what I mean. So the first book is Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. You guys know I just read this book recently and I think I gave it 3 stars. But this book just doesn't resonate with me at all. It wasn't the worst book ever, but it's just not a book that like I look at and think like, yes, like I love that book. You know what I mean? Like I think I might actually go on Goodreads, if I'm being honest, and move this book down to 2 stars, because the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, no. Like I look at this book and I get kind of annoyed, and a lot of times if I read a book that I don't love, I'll keep it on my shelf for like a decent amount of time before I kind of decide that it's time to let it go. But this book, like I literally have 0 connection with. Like it's just one of those books that I'm like, yeah, I could have totally gone without reading that book, so this book has to go. So the next book is a book that I haven't read yet, and I have a really hard time getting rid of books that I have not read because I feel like it's so not smart, because like you could really love a book, but sometimes I just have to be honest with myself and say like, I don't think I'm ever going to get to that book. Like as much as I want to, I just don't think it's gonna happen. It doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't call my name. And it is They Both Die in the End by Adam Silvera. And I've heard such amazing things about this book. Like I can't lie. A lot of people say great things about it, but then a lot of people don't. Like I've heard mixed reviews on it. And I just, for some reason, have gotten to the point where I'm just like, I just don't really think it's something that I'm ever gonna pull off my shelf and be like, I'm ready to read that. You know what I mean? But it's probably good. Who knows? I don't know. So the next book is My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. Now it's not because I didn't like this book. It's because I accidentally bought 2 of this book. So I pre-ordered this and I forgot that I pre-ordered it, which is literally the story of my life. And I ended up pre-ordering it again, and then they came at the same exact time, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like I really ordered this book twice. So I'm probably gonna either give this to like my cousin, actually probably not my cousin, she doesn't like romance, but I might give it to my sister-in-law because she really likes romance. So yeah, gonna get rid of this because I don't need to. The next book I'm gonna get rid of is This Is Not the Jess Show. So this I'm probably gonna put in a free library because this is an arc, and this was actually a pretty fun book to read, I'm not gonna lie. So this is very similar to The Truman Show, but like a YA version, and it was actually a really kind of fun book to read. Like if you're looking for something fun, totally recommend this. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's because I've never seen The Truman Show, so it was kind of like a new concept to me. But this was actually really good. I enjoyed it. I just don't need to keep it. I think I gave this 3 stars. I think it was kind of like a 3.5-ish, but yeah, it's just not a book that I need to keep around, you know what I mean? Like I read it, but I don't need to keep it. So, and I also got that book for free at my bookstore. They do the blind date with a book, and it's usually arcs, and he wraps them up in paper, and you can just like pick one off the shelf, and then you donate money to whatever charity that he's raising for. So I got that book for free for a blind date with a book. So the next book was a book that I've had on my shelf for years, and honestly, I'm probably stupid for getting rid of this because it has such high ratings. But I tried reading this, and I feel like if I just pushed through this book and read the entire thing, I would probably really like it. But I read like the first few chapters of this book, and I just couldn't get into it. I was bored. I couldn't really figure out where the book was going. I didn't really feel like there was much of a plot yet. Like there was no real plot being shown. It was very much just kind of meandering, and I'm like, where is this book going? And that is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Now I know so many of you guys are gonna be like, keep it, and read it. It's so good. And I know, like I know it's good, and I know that I probably would like it, but because I read 3 chapters and then I just quit for whatever reason, I feel like it's gonna be so hard for me to pick this book up again and like restart it because I just wasn't enjoying it at first. So it's one of those books that just didn't work out for me. It probably could work out for me, but I just don't think I'm ever gonna re-pick it back up, if that makes sense. So this next book is Counting by Sevens by Holly Goldberg Sloan. Now, I heard about this book so long ago, and I actually was really excited to read it because I heard really good things about it. And this is like a super worn out copy. Like it's all taped up on the back, and It's a worn out copy, and I have kept this around for so long because first of all, it's a YA, and the text is huge. Like, this book would take me like no time at all to read. I just have never picked it up, and I've had it on my shelves for like 5 or more years. And that's a long time to have a book that you never read. So I feel like somebody else is going to enjoy this book more. Probably somebody in high school or middle school could read this and really resonate with it, but it's just not something that I think I'm going to resonate with now as an adult. So the next one is The Blacksmith Queen by G.A. Aiken. So I had a whole rant about this about this book in my books that I could not finish. And this is just a type of trope that I don't love. It's definitely like overpowering female and then like really weak male characters, which I don't like. I like it when they're either equal in power or the man is like super, super powerful and the girl is more like human. And I know a lot of people like that. It's just not my thing. So I had to get rid of this. It was just, I knew when I started reading it, I knew that it was going to be kind of that trope, and I just knew that I wasn't going to enjoy it, and it wasn't going to give me those like really like awesome romance feels that I really love, so I decided to just stop reading it. So this next one was so hard for me to get rid of, you guys. Like, I have been keeping this on my shelf for so long, and I feel like the main reason I keep this on my shelf is because the cover is one of my favorite covers of all time. And it's so hard for me to get rid of books that have stunning covers. And part of the reason I bought this book, honestly, was because I love the cover so much, but I hated the book. I gave the book 2 stars. And it is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. And I just really, really, really didn't like this book for so many reasons. I have so many videos talking about this book, but I've kept it around for so long because this cover is just one of the most beautiful and unique covers I've ever seen. And I just have wanted it on my shelf. I just want it there. But why keep it around if I didn't like it and I'm never going to reread it? It just doesn't make any sense. So this is another book that I'm probably going to sell to the bookstore. Sadly, don't you just hate it when you don't like a book that has an amazing cover? Like, it's such a like unsatisfying feeling. So the next book is There's Someone Inside Your House. I got this at Goodwill, and honestly, I've heard so things about this. I feel like this is like super, super YA. This is Stephanie Perkins. This is like a thriller, and I've heard good things about it, but I also feel like there's probably a million thrillers out there that are better than this because I've heard really, really mixed things about it. Now, part of the reason why I like reading like YA thrillers is because they're really, really, really fast-paced and easy to read, because YA just tends to be that way, and I have a short attention span, and so I feel like YA thrillers are kind of fun sometimes if I just need something really, really fast-paced and easy to read. But for some reason this one I just don't think I'm ever going to get to for whatever reason, and because I've heard kind of mixed reviews, I feel like I'm just always going to pass it up and pick something else. So this one has to go. So the next book is one that you guys know I really didn't like, and it's Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes. This one, just, I really didn't like it. It was a 2-star read for me, and this is another one of those books where I love the cover, and so it's painful for me to get rid of it because the cover is just so stunning. I just love the look of it, but it just was not a good book, and I don't need to keep it around because I'm not going to reread it. So I might as well sell it to that bookstore and buy something that I'm actually going to like. So this next book is a book that I tried reading, and I actually got pretty far into it. I would say I got like 30% in, and that's pretty far for me to DNF a book. Usually if I get like 30 to 40% in, I refuse to DNF it, and I will just push through all the way till the end, and it's super rare for me to DNF at that place in a book. But it is The Afterlives by Thomas Pierce, and I was so excited to read this book. Like, it totally felt like it was going to be up my alley. It just explores the question of the afterlife, and these people are like questioning what happens after you die, and the synopsis sounded really cool. But this was like the most pointless, plotless book I had ever read. Like 40% in, still nothing was happening. It was like still character development and like relationship development, and I was like, where's this going? Like, what is the point of this book? And as much as I wanted to finish this, because I was really thinking like, you will like this. If you just push through, you will like it. You will get to the end and you will like it. And so I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, thinking that it was gonna like switch and I was gonna really start liking it. And it just wasn't happening. Like, no matter how far I read into it, like that click wasn't being made. And so I told myself, like, Kara, like, you don't have to waste your time. Just DNF it. It's not that big of a deal. This book has to go, as sad as it is. I just hate when I feel like I'm gonna love a book, like the synopsis sounds great and it's just not what you think it's gonna be, and that was one of them. Next is Ruth Ware, Turn of the Key. So I read this book and I'm actually keeping it. It's right here. This is the one that I read. but I accidentally bought this twice. So I was at Goodwill and I bought it once and I forgot that I had bought it, and I went to Goodwill again and I saw it there again, completely forgetting that I bought it, and I bought it again. Ruth Ware is one of those authors that you see at Goodwill all the time. Her books are always popular and they're always there. So this is going to probably go to the bookstore. If they even buy this, like I have a feeling they won't, because they probably get so much Ruth Ware going through their store. So there's probably a good chance they won't buy this, but if they don't, I'll probably give it to my sister-in-law or my cousin. The next book is Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. So this book was in my, I really wanted to read it, but do I still video? And it was me talking about books that I bought because I really wanted to read them, but then I kind of like lost interest in them, and I asked you guys if I should still read them, like if they're good enough to keep around. And this book was in that video, and so many of you guys said like, keep that book, it's so good, like you're gonna love it. And so I kept it, but I honestly don't think I'm gonna read it. Like this is one of those books where I think I would really like it, and I probably would really like it, but that still doesn't mean that I'm going to pick it up. And this is one of those books that is just long, and I just feel like I'm going to continue to pass it up and continue to pass it up, and it's just never going to happen. Plus, sometimes when I know that a book has been turned into a show or a movie, it's really hard for me to pick the book up because I know that it's a movie, and I know that I could just watch the movie or watch the show or whatever. And I feel like that's the case with this one. Like if I really want to know the story, I'll just, you know, watch it in TV show form or whatever. So I just don't think I'm ever gonna get around to it. Plus I've heard Leanne Moriarty is a pretty like winded author. Like she overwrites just a little bit. She's not one of those authors that is good for somebody with a short attention span, and like I said, I tend to be that type of person, and I feel like Leanne Moriarty is probably not going to be an author for me. I know that's a big thing to say for somebody who hasn't actually read any of her books, but I just have that feeling, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna get rid of this, even though I think that I probably could like it. I just don't think I'll get to it. So that is it, you guys. Those are all the books that I'm unhauling, and I hope that I can sell quite a bit of them because I would love to buy some books that I'm actually interested in. Let me know in the comments if there's any books in this pile that you guys think I should definitely not get rid of. Like, please just at least try it again or try reading it before you get rid of it. I would definitely be interested in hearing your guys' thoughts, but that's kind of what I plan to get rid of. So I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you guys on my next one. Bye.